Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good week, staying safe, staying healthy. Back in the shop today working on sheet metal. I've got a lot of time into this off camera. Just a lot of it's not really stuff that you can see while I'm working on, or not really that enjoyable. So I haven't really done a whole lot that way as far as filming. What I've been working on is this filler piece that you saw me cut out, I believe, in a previous episode. This was notched up here where the frame rail came up to it. So I cut a whole piece out of the back of the donor car. Did the same thing as I did here. Plasma cut out here. I had my two pieces. I had plasma cut through both layers. Welded it up, but I had a gap in between from the plasma cutter. So putting a lot of extra heat in there, trying to fill up a gap, then it's thin, you're blowing holes. I built it up, but you've got weld beside weld, and I really wasn't happy with the end result. It was kind of wavy, there was too much heat. You looked on the backside, and well, you can't really get a whole lot in there to adjust. Hammer and dolly's a little tight, and I really just wasn't happy with it at the end of the day. So on the weekend, I cut out a piece here, fabbed a new piece out of just normal standard sheet metal. Also up here, tacked them in. They turned out really well. I didn't end up burning any holes, and I was really happy with the result there. So it got me to thinking, there's a spot kind of up here. It's got some spots that I had to kind of build up and burn throughs, and I was gonna do that. Came out today, I got luck in here on this strip here. It wasn't as bad, but again, I really just wasn't happy. Right in the center there where I had more heat, it wasn't level. I kind of had a dip. I'm this far into it, I just didn't want to deal with that. So I actually just did the same thing here, cut out a piece, spent quite a bit of time, to be honest, shaping that and getting it a real tight fit. But as you can see, it fits quite nice. I was able to recreate the crease there. Again, it might not be perfect. I'm not a metal guy. I have a background in nuts, bolts, and wrenches. I can do welding, yes. I can do paint and body, yes. But I am not trained. I am self-taught on all of that, especially the welding. Anything I've ever done was just picking up the welder and doing it, learning from my faults and failures, and changing your approach next time to get a better result. So I've actually kind of done the same thing here. I didn't like how that turned out, so I changed it and figured out how to make it better. And now this is all straight. I've gone over a little bit with a flat disc and then stopped just so I could leave a little bit of the weld there that you can see. Most of this was actually done from the back side. I was able to get enough heat that I was able to get good penetration and not have to weld from both sides there. Where I was finding when I had that heavy gap, if you put enough heat to try and get through, it would just blow through. So I was actually having to do less heat on both sides, and that equals more heat in the end. It was just wasn't worth it. So enough rambling. I've got this in. I'm gonna do a little cleanup on it, and on the back side here too. I'm gonna go in here and clean up anything I need to with a flat disc, then do a little hammer and dolly work, try and get that as straight as I can, and then on to this giant section here. And man, am I ever glad that I got things tidied up a little better here before doing the same approach on my original on here, because I wouldn't have been happy with that result, and that one's very visible. So I will be doing a nice clean cut there with a grinder, and then I will be spending a lot of time on that floor pan with a grinder on the other side, just creeping up on what I've got there to get a nice tight fit. It should look a lot better. Alright guys, so as you saw, grinding away in here, getting this cleaned up pretty good. I got a little bit more to do up top there, giving the compressor a bit of a break. It's been working fairly non-stop for the majority of the afternoon. Got myself a little lean-in protector here on the edge, try and keep that floor pan sheet metal from digging in. And been wearing some new fancy safety glasses here. I got foam on the backside. I had an unfortunate incident, it'd be 1 week ago today actually. Just grinding away on this section of the floor before I had put any new sheet metal in, and it's working away in here. It's pretty tight, so using a carbide bit, let me see if I can find it here. Been using this guy, hogs material down pretty quick. That material is flying around. You're usually trying to get up on it pretty tight too to see what you're doing, especially in an area like that. Unfortunately, I had a piece bounce off of here, then off the glasses, and then into my eye because I wasn't using those new ones. And I felt it. I kept working for a couple hours. It didn't seem like it was in there anymore. Went inside, got cleaned up, and it was definitely in there. So that was a unfortunate, lame evening spent in the emergency room. So taking some extra precautions this time, working away, getting some stuff done, and I'm happy. It's just really time consuming, but it is steps in the right direction. As soon as that is finished up, then I can start working on the floor pan and getting that frame rail set up, because the frame rail actually spot welds into the front of that, or the front of the frame rail spot welds into that. So need to have that all set up properly. I am gonna be priming the car, the bottom of the car, before I put the frame rail in. I'm gonna prime the inside of the frame rail as well, make sure that we don't have any rust that can develop prematurely. And I'll probably end up painting the inside of the frame rail too, just to protect it that much more. What else we got? I think that's about it for now. I'm gonna take a break because I've been at this for a while, and I'll catch up with you guys a little later. Hey guys, new day here. When I left off with you last night, I think I had said I was gonna take a break. That was my whole plan. I don't even know what time it was. I hadn't had dinner or anything yet. And, well, I stopped with this, and then I turned around and I looked at this, which is plate of 3/16 steel that I got from a friend of mine and his dad about a week and a half ago now. Sorry, camera died. Where was I? Right, yes, week and a half ago. I got this steel plate, and I need something to put on my bench top. Right now, it's actually, well, it's labeled IBM, so it looks like it's an old computer desk. It's got some 1-inch ply on the top. It's done the trick, but it'd be nice to have a welding bench and have something that's a little more stable and sturdy to work on. So I've got this plate here. It's been sitting on a shop floor for 10 years, and it was actually 10 feet long, so they just let me cut 4 feet off and good to go. Just need to clean up the back a little more. So I started grinding that, and goodness, like, complete red dust cloud in here. I had to open the door, take a blowgun, and push the air at the door. Plus I had fans on the go. You can see I got red dust on my gloves. I've blown the shop out 3 times now. Like, even look at that, it's just filthy. So that was a good time, but I was out here, I was in a productive mood, so I just went ahead and made that happen. Now I need to get some evapor rust or something along that lines, clean up the back of that a bit so I can bolt it onto the top of the bench, and then I'll have myself a TIG welding station for when I finally get the time to pull out that TIG welder and play around with that. My ribs are a little sore from yesterday, from all of this, even with this little sheet, whatever you want to call it, try and dampen it down. But I was productive, got that cleaned up further, and today I'm going to keep on going with that. Okay, so apparently today is technical difficulty day. The camera battery died. As you saw there, I was trying to cut up there. Losing air pressure, couldn't figure it out. Looked over at the compressor, 60 psi. For some reason, my compressor on-off switch that is fused, two 30 amp fuses, compressor, I believe if I remember, going back a couple years, but it's like 22 amp startup. So there's no reason that should pop. Every once in a while, especially after a whole bunch of use, it blows a fuse. No rhyme or reason. So trace that down. We're back up with air pressure, and I'm gonna finish cutting this. And just like that, we've got another hole in the bottom of the car. Alright, so I have myself a nice little filler piece made here. Got that little groove that matches up with the existing piece. This is a pain. It's a very tedious task, but I want it to be right. I don't have a whole lot of metal shaping tools. I have some body hammers, some dies or dollies, and that's really about it. So kind of set that in an opening in the vise, tap it to get a recess there with the body hammer, and you kind of work it back and forth. Yes, there are some hammer marks in it. Unfortunately, that is what it is. That's what I've got. But it fits pretty good and gets me closer. I'm happy with it. When I'm done with it, you'll never even see it. So that's all that matters. Here is our filler piece. Pretty nice tight fit up. In here where I was pointing out that area that I had to tap into the recess. Once I get that tacked in, I can actually form fit that a little more, so it's got a bit of a deeper recess to match up with the original one. But that's just what it is, and that's what I had to do with the other ones, and it's not a huge deal. Works pretty well. Just do some perimeter tacks, and then once you get close to that, you can start working the metal a little bit more. But the important thing is a nice tight fit, and hopefully no blow-throughs. There you go, guys. One last piece tacked in there. Went pretty good. As you saw, this light, it really likes to fall when you lightly bump it. Makes a big difference when you blow all the metal filings off it. The magnet works a lot better. A couple little things like that. The new wire that I'm using, not a huge fan. I think it's Unibraze maybe. I don't know the package anymore. I have run into a handful of times where the wire touches, you don't get an arc that starts, you move the ground, try different things like that. It's a little tedious, and half the time you get where it'll arc and it'll clog the nozzle, or the tip, which is brand new nozzle, brand new tip, and brand new wire. A little frustrating, but we're getting it done. As you can see, got this piece all tacked in here. There's a little bit more to go around there, and then finish grinding that out like you guys saw me doing last night. So I won't go through that. I'm going to end this episode here because all the rest is just kind of rinse and repeat. But I'm getting there. a lot closer. That's a big step out of the way. It's just really tedious and time consuming for such small pieces. But you got to shape it, make sure it looks right. I got that raised portion in there, so I'm happy with that. And with that, I'm going to close it out here. You guys have an awesome weekend. Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to ring that bell reminder for when these next episodes come out. Thank you very much and have an awesome weekend, guys.